Hello and welcome. This is my first ever video. My name is Maeve and I am a trans girl. I play a lot of DBD and I am a Blight 1 trick, pretty much. I play a lot of Blight. I have about 3,000 hours in the game. The stats tracker says I have about 1,000 of in-game, but I'm pretty sure it's in-game time. So, and about 400 hours of those is on Blight alone. But for the first video that I'm doing, I wanted to go through and discuss some DBD TikTok videos because I find a lot of them to be brain rot and filled with terrible takes. And I've been on DBD Talk quite a lot recently. My god, there's some bad ones. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you could forgive any kind of awkwardness that I have, I'm very new to this, kind of talking in a microphone. It's all very new, so I appreciate you taking the time to watch though. Let's get into it.
As a survivor main, here are the 3 things I wish I knew when I first started DBD. Number 1, understanding gen pressure. In the beginning of the game, survivors need to spread out and each start on their own gen if possible. This creates pressure on the killer early game and it can put survivors in a very favorable situation.
Definitely gen splitting is certainly one of the strongest things that you can do, especially like at the start of the game. If like every killer is at their weakest at the very beginning of the game, it is just a fact. And so when you split gen pressure, it makes it so that even if the killer gets the first down quickly or abandons that chase, if all 3 of you are working on the same gen, he can then come to that gen, maybe pop it if he downed the survivor or whatever, and then he's harassing all 3 of you. No gens are getting done, and you're just set up for a losing game. But if you split gen pressure, it is far more efficient.
2. Safe versus unsafe sides of generators. For most killers, minus Jason, the safe side of the generator is the one closest to a resource, for example a pallet or a window. The unsafe side is the side of the generator that is furthest from a resource. Always try to work on the safe side of a gen. Number 3.
I mean, I guess, but like even if like you're looking at it like from shack on the generator that's closest to the pallet, what if the killer just comes from the direction of the pallet? Right? Then what? I mean, you could just immediately drop it on their face, but I don't know. People tend to be stingy when it comes to the shack pallet, so you might not want to do that. Same thing with like the window. If you're sitting on the window vault, a lot of the time, if you go from the gen to the window, a killer could catch you mid vault. I don't think it's that important. I think just kind of be aware of your surroundings, where the killer's coming from, and at like any side of a gen works, except for like against Jason, right? Where he does, teleport to specific vault locations, like pallets or windows. Same with Dracula. Yeah.
Always make sure to keep your eye on the killer. I see so many new survivors just running straight and not looking behind them, and then the killer successfully mind games them and downs them with ease. It is important in this game to keep your eye on the killer or look for the red stain at all times.
Yeah, certainly paying attention to your surroundings, keeping track of where the killer is, prevents you from getting mind gamed a lot, and it's just like really good habit to build, just looking around you, getting comfortable with that. I find survivors much easier on controller, so just like the sticks, I don't know, I can't do fucking keyboard and mouse. I just suck ass all the time. I mean, I suck ass anyways, but I suck extra ass when I'm fucking playing on mouse and keyboard. But yeah, keep your eyes on the killer at all times. This is chiller. I don't know why, but sure.
Make yourself unpredictable and take weird pathing sometimes.
Yep.
Let me know in the comments if any of these tips helped you.
Basic tips, great beginner tips. Nothing to complain about.
One of the saddest things about the current Dead by Daylight meta is the lack of killer build variety. There are almost 150 killer perks in DBD, but less than 20 of them are actually viable against coordinated survivors.
Less than 20? Yes, like against coordinated, sure, but like that's not like a problem, I don't think. Because like how often are you running into 4-mans that are actually, like, just because you're going against a 4-man doesn't necessarily mean they're really well coordinated or like even good at the game. They could just be a bunch of friends just being wholesome or whatever the fuck, right? So I don't know, like I don't necessarily think this is a big deal. Like, just run the perks you want.
Nearly every good killer player is running a build very similar to this one: Pop, Eruption, Pain Res, and Corrupt Intervention.
I'd argue I get a killer with a build similar to this maybe 1 every 10 games. Like most of the time, killers are just not doing this, like the using more, like I think what this person is trying to say is that the current meta is a select few perks, but the killer build variety I don't think is a problem. Like I think that there's a lot of variety in builds. In fact, a build that I see is very common right now is this one. I run into this build quite a lot. Now Agi here this can be swapped out for any other perk, but like this main obsession build, like I see this quite often. This isn't meta, so I don't know. Like if they're coming from like a meta perspective, yes, there is not very many perks that are viable. Some more so than others on certain killers, but yeah, for the most part, I guess like these are the 4 main perks. Like this is pretty much what I use for my win streak, except nowhere to hide instead of pain resonance, because I think pain resonance is very overrated.
You can run this build on almost any killer in the game and it will outperform any niche perk combo you can come up with. Diminishing Returns has killed haste builds, anti-heal builds, and slowdown builds like Thanatophobia Dying Light. Because of
Yeah, actually. I think Diminishing Returns is a good idea. The issue is that they're not buffing perks now, right? Haste stacking was problematic because like Hope was 7%, right? And then you stack on, I don't know, Blood Pact, or I mean that's just for the end game, so like that's very niche situation, but like, right, Blood Pact, MFT, or like anything really with MFT, and it just gets like a bit insane, right? So I can see how it's certainly unhealthy. I just don't understand why after implementing Diminishing Returns that we haven't actually seen some perks get buffed, right? Like I see no reason for Hope to only be 5% again, right? Or even like Dark Theory, like 3% to set to a specific area. Okay. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Diminishing Returns, most perks don't provide enough value to justify running them on their own.
Yeah, that's true. Diminishing Returns like inadvertently cause these perks to just become better because these aren't affected by it. So the already strong perks just weren't affected. But yeah, like a lot of the fun builds, even though it absolutely sucks to go against like haste builds or like hinder stacking builds, like at least it was variety.
This has resulted in stacking as much gen regression as possible on killers that don't require any chase perks and then proxying hooks to avoid having to run tracking. Fun and gimmicky perk builds are dead for the most part. Any game you would win with them, you probably would have won without any perks.
See, I don't think fun gimmick builds are dead, right? Like even like on, like maybe for killer, it's like, yeah, a lot of the fun gimmick builds did center around haste or like really just breaking a bunch of perks to stack a bunch of one thing together. Like on Survivor, there's still quite a lot. Like Survivors definitely have plenty of gimmick builds that they can still do.
At all. And as soon as you play against decent survivors, you won't stand a chance.
Yep.
With how efficient survivors have gotten, and how many powerful perks they have, the killer role is very limited right now in playstyle and build variety.
Yeah, I think Survivors have gotten better. I think a lot of people are learning to, you know, split gens, and like that alone is making like the games more difficult. But the gen splitting, like when you're chasing someone and it's been like 40 seconds into the game and like you hear a gen pop, that's actually like a kind of a comforting feeling, because it's like, okay, chances are 3 people stacked on that gen, they got nothing anywhere else, right? What's scary is when you're a decent bit into the game after, you know, just starting and nothing has happened. That's when you know, okay, it's either they're doing nothing at all or the game's about to end. Good video.
If you have to slug in Dead by Daylight to win, you're shit. So sit
Okay.
your ass down and listen. Yeah, you heard me, and you know I'm right as well. Oh my god, but Nyla, it's a valid strategy, and comp players do it. Stop! I don't care. Are the hooks in the map decoration? No!
I think that if you don't acknowledge slugging as a viable strategy, I think that's a skill issue. When you're doing like excessive like slugging, like this shit, I mean, I don't know about nerving presence here, but like, this is ass. Like when you're intentionally going for it, but if you're complaining about like, you know, survivors are doing a bit too well, and so the killer has to slug a bit in order to, you know, catch back up and, you know, try and get the game back. I think that's a skill issue. Like you're just.
Oh, no, they're not. So use them. And like 9 times out of 10, if a killer has to resort to slugging, it means they are not consistent or good enough to win their chases. And the
I don't really get that. Confident enough to win their chases, but then how are they getting the downs to slug?
only 3 reasons.
Like if they're not confident in their chases and they're not winning the chases enough, the slugging won't be viable. Like they need to consistently get downs if you're doing it excessively. Like if you're doing it to win, like I find that this slugging build and like slugging, like going for intense slugging like this just from the start of the game, I consistently win with this. In fact, this was what I was doing for my win streak for a good little bit. The issue that I kind of gave up that I was dealing with was when you get people that are good at the game and they just happen to have like, we're gonna live forever, then it sucks.
Killers slug is because either 1, they don't have good map control, 2, they don't have enough gen pressure, or 3, they don't have enough hook pressure, or they're trying to be toxic. But most of the time it's those 3 reasons. I mean, unless if you're doing it for the love.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a skill issue off the bat. Like what, a couple bad decisions are made, and yeah, you can lose gen pressure. Yeah, if you don't have like, this is what I'm saying. What this person is saying isn't like they're treating it as specifically a skill issue if you have to do this. I don't think so. It's skillful for you to recognize that you need to do this in order to bring the game back, right? I don't know.
Of the game, then what the fuck? Go outside. If you have to.
I think slugging to win is perfectly fine. Now, yes, it is toxic if you're doing it like this, where, you know, you do it from the start of the game and you're intentionally trying to, you know, ruin the survivor's days, but for the most part, I think it's fine.
Hot take. If you have to buy a licensed killer, they should be A tier or above. If you're
if you buy a licensed killer, they should be A tier or above. That's a bad take. You know how many licensed killers there are in the game? You want every single one of them to be of the power level of like, who's A tier right now? Like Dracula, Oni. I don't know, man.
You're telling me, hey, you have to spend your money on this killer. That's it. You can't earn it through in-game currency. You better be A tier or above. You don't have to be pay to win. You don't have to be the strongest of the nurse, but you need to be playable. The funniest thing about that, Ghostface. Ghostface is one of the biggest icons of horror. People download this game to play as Ghostface because they love him. And he's literally...
That's literally why I bought the game. I bought the game specifically for Ghostface. Now it turns out I don't like him very much. Not necessarily due with the skill level, I just don't, I find him to be kind of boring. But no, I disagree. Like, some killer powers are just designed, like they can't be A tier. If Ghostface is A tier, it's because he's exceeding far too much in one area. Like some people argue Blight is A tier right now. And if you do, I think sure. Right, there's no world in which Ghostface could be at the same power level as Blight without being extremely oppressive and unfun to play against in one area.
Literally the worst killer in the game. He's pay to lose. Like, why am I going to spend money to...
I don't think he's the worst killer in the game. Skull Merchant doesn't even have a power. She does nothing.
get my ass kicked on Ghostface? That's just bad marketing. If Ghostface was strong, you would make more sales off of it. That's how it goes. That's how pay to win shit works. And I'm not saying they have to be pay to win, but they should be better, dude.
I mean, yeah, they should be better. They shouldn't be A tier. Like, I think a good benchmark for all killers is like Wraith. Like, Wraith is very simple, but he's like the most B tier killer ever. He has his counterplay. He has counterplay to the counterplay. It's really just a battle of who knows more, and I think that's great. Every licensed killer being A tier? Oh, I don't know about that. Like, who are the licensed killers, right? Like Myers, bro. Myers is already miserable enough to go against. Like, why would we make him A tier? Right, like Pig, what would you even do? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, what would you even do to Pig to make her A tier? Because like you can't touch her traps. You make the traps faster and like okay, that's not fun to go against. Like, they already tried to fucking buff her ambush and it feels good, sure. Like when you have simple power designs like this, like Pig, Trapper, right? There's only so much you can change or so much you can buff to raise them in the tier list. So if you want to raise them that much, you need to over buff one specific part of their kit, and then it becomes just so like literally what happened with Clown when he like got changed and he was way overtuned. Like that's not fun to go against. I don't think so. Okay, and that's about it. If you did make it to the end, I really appreciate it. I do want to make note that when I was recording that, I hadn't yet downloaded any sort of software to clean up my voice or kind of remove the noise around me. So you probably heard my chair or the mouse clicking at some points. Hopefully in the future that shouldn't be the case. So I apologize about that. And also apologize for not being very expressive or I'm very much just getting used to this. So kind of bear with me. I would hopefully get better at it. I don't expect this to kind of go anywhere. I just played this game like a shit ton already. So I figured I might as well record it and stream it. If you are interested in my streams, I stream on Twitch. Don't have a strict schedule, but most of the time you will catch me around 12 a.m. Eastern time, and I play throughout the night. So if you're like a bit of a night owl and are interested, you can stop by. I would really appreciate it. And I think that's about it.